Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Mitch from We in Tennessee. And today's video, I have a couple of things to share with you. The first one was I was totally surprised. My wife and I had gone to Kroger's last week during spring break, and I normally don't go with her to the grocery store because I'm usually at work. And it was early, like 9 o'clock. And what was weird was, the store was pretty empty, like it should be at 9 o'clock on a regular, like school day. But what I saw around the corner kind of just took me by surprise. Like, what is this? It was a robot aisle cleaner. And I had seen that before in California, and I didn't know that they had that out here in Tennessee. If you hear, you can hear kind of that beep, beep, and it was just kind of coming around the corner. It has a sensor in it, I'm sure. So if it saw me, it would have went around me. But it was just weird to see that because in California, I used to teach robotics. So to see a robot aisle cleaner, it was very cool. Um, After a while, I saw one of the workers jump on it. I guess he might have manually needed to do something with it. But it was just kind of cool to see that it's programmed to go around the aisles. It had to do obviously sections at a time. But it was just so cool to be able to see robotic things out here in Tennessee and to see it actually in action. And, that's just up my alley. So it was just very, very cool to see. Two things that I have come to observe and learn and check here in Tennessee that I didn't necessarily need to do in California was number one, I need to make sure I check my tire pressure. Because in California, the temperature never got incredibly low and especially low for a long period of time. I never, thought about my tire pressure. It just basically stayed the same throughout the entire year. I mean, obviously we got our cold points, but not cold enough to really affect the tire pressure. Out here in Tennessee, we've had some really cold days where my temperature, checking on the tire pressure has been going off, pretty regularly. So I got to go and fill up my air, check it, and make sure I'm not running too low or, I don't think I'm going to run too high, maybe in the summertime. But because again, in the cold, it's going to make the air have less pressure. And so I just don't want my wheels or tires, running out unevenly. And so I just got to check that pressure. Even if I don't get that, that indicator on my car, just to make sure I'm running at what my desired PSI is. Another thing that I've had to learn to check is make sure I check my burn notifications. When I get the weather on my phone, it'll also give me a weather advisory. And a day like today, I was ready to go out and burn some of the wood that falls with all the wind and rain and everything like that. And today it says no burning today because of the low humidity and the winds that we were going to get today. So I have to keep checking that day by day just to see that I'm, not going to cause some type of forest fire. There was one day in the fall I was going to burn leaves. I think I told you guys about that. And I didn't check my phone and I'm like, whoa, shoot, get the hose because I guess the humidity was low. It really wasn't windy, but because of the humidity and there might have been like a small gust, I was like, man, I got to put this thing out. I just had to be wise and use common sense to not burn that day. Then I checked my phone and saw that there was another no burn day. So I'm like, oh man, I got to keep checking that thing, just to make sure I'm not just, figuring that out as this gust of wind comes at me or the fire gets out of control. Just to make sure I'm like, don't get my hopes up like, yeah, it's time to burn. Oh man, now I can't. Just to be on the safe side. Some of you have asked me, hey, Mitch, why East Tennessee? Why not Middle or West Tennessee? And, despite the fact that my wife's parents live in Western Virginia, so that it would just be an easier drive, the answer is pretty obvious for us, at least. We have the Smokies here in East Tennessee. Obviously, if you take a look at the real estate, and obviously, every place is going to have its own variances, but East Tennessee just seems to be a whole lot cheaper than Middle or Western Tennessee. And no offense here, but the Memphis side of Tennessee just seemed a little bit, what's the word, scarier to live in. And we just wanted to be farther away from Memphis as we could, but still be in Tennessee. So sorry if you live in Memphis, no offense. It just, when you look at the crime rates, it's just, it kind of speaks for itself that we just wanted to be farther away from that. And it just feels like the life here in East Tennessee, and I'm not, a Tennessee expert and haven't been through every part of Tennessee, but it just feels more rural. It feels more Appalachian. I always have to watch that because in California it was Appalachian, but here it's Appalachian, where it just feels like the time has slowed down, and we're starting to get those developments and condos and townhomes, but you can just still feel that rural, feeling where, we're almost in this time warp back to where it was, before, if that makes any kind of sense, where, the speed of life has just been a lot slower than it seems to be in Middle and Western Tennessee. So we just absolutely love it. We, consider this home and don't have any plans of going anywhere. And so East Tennessee is just for us. Well, guys, I have always told you that Wednesday is going to be a little shorter because, the work week is busy and I don't have as much time to film and record and edit as I normally do. But I appreciate you guys for checking in on a Wednesday. I really, really do appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button if you have not, because it just really lets me know, hey, Mitch, we're with you. We got you. It kind of just helps this channel move in the right direction. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.